Hello again. Okay, I'm hoping the sound quality on here is better. Playing back my last video, I didn't realize how bad the sound was until somebody pointed it out to me, and I actually played it off on a different device, and I realized that using my laptop's built-in speaker, it was picking up the awful sounds that my laptop makes. So I'm sorry, and I hope this is better, and I'll scrutinize it a little bit more before I upload. But it's me again, so soon. I know, I figured that you would just be dying to hear from me again. But yeah, so I did the thing. I'm very late, but I did the thing, and I watched 13 Reasons Why. And I've got to say, I really loved it. I know that it's a show that's had a lot of criticism and mixed reviews and all of that, but me personally, as someone who has dealt with the stigma of depression and I've had suicide in my family and all of that, it is something I am familiar with, and I understood the reviews of it's being something that was possibly irresponsible to make a show out of, because it could glorify suicide, and it could be a trigger for those suffering with mental health issues or who are feeling that suicide is their only way out. I get that completely. I can see that side of it. But I do personally feel that they did attempt to do this responsibly. They put out the PSA in the beginning of the season. I think more so in season 2, they put out the warning before the beginning of an episode that maybe did have some graphic content. They even touched on consent. They had PSA videos going out on consent and verbal and non-verbal consent, and how important it is to understand that not putting up a struggle or not actually saying no is not necessarily consent. So I think that they handled it well. From my side, they don't really get criticism there, but like I say, I do understand the criticism of it possibly being a trigger. I know that there have been copycat instances of suicide following the show's release. I know that they checked that, I think 19 days after the show airing, there was a lot of Google searches related to suicide and how to commit suicide, and that is really heartbreaking. But I think no matter how they had done the show, that would have been an outcome that would have happened regardless. Personally, I do feel that it's great that they did the show. They went into a topic that most people find so taboo and stay away from, and some people might watch this and find it relevant in a positive way. They wouldn't feel so alone in their struggles. They would realize that there are things going on in the world and in other schools and in other people's lives that are just as difficult as whatever they're experiencing personally. So it's nice having a real show out there that is, addressing this. I think it was done well. I think that there are some brilliant and strong actors portraying the characters. I think it is so brave for an actor to go and take some of the roles that were created in this series. I mean, a lot of actors are stuck with being stereotyped as a certain character. So to go and play some of the characters like Bryce, for example, that is a brave move for an actor, because that is not the kind of character that you want to be stereotyped as for the rest of your acting career. So you actually get such a round of applause for me for being strong enough to go in there and portray this character as well as you did. And I mean, I've seen from interviews with other cast members and that he is so the opposite of his character in real life. He is such an incredible guy. So to portray this character so well, that is truly amazing. You are incredible at your art form. And yeah, that impressed me quite a bit. And like I say, I feel it takes a strong actor to go and do this. And I think it's good that this was put out there. I do like in season 2 that they humanized the characters or the reasons a lot more. You get to see their side of what was going on. You get to see more about Hannah, and she becomes a character that has real flaws. She is human and she had her faults, and I think that is a much healthier way to look at it than, say, in season 1 where she was just the victim. I mean, season 2 gave it a bit, like I said, more insight and a more real look at this, and I enjoyed that. I think some of the content was really graphic, and I mean, I had somebody tell me that, oh, you know what, like season 1 up until a certain point is not that bad, it would be okay for a kid to watch, they're not going to pick up on this. But like, that plagued me a bit, because it is very sensitive content that they're dealing with, and it is something that could be a trigger. I mean, children deal with depression and anxiety and suicidal thoughts from such young ages these days, and to subject them to something like this, that's not safe, that's not okay, in my opinion. But I think if you feel that you can handle it and all of that, then it is actually such an incredible show to watch. I loved it. And the sentencing, I mean, it would have been so nice to see proper justice served, but in the same breath, I guess it is a more realistic look at what actually happens in these cases. Like, you actually get to see the real deal, that it's not always fair. People don't always get what they deserve, and they could have done it where the viewers actually feel satisfied with the outcome, but the fact that they kept it real is what makes it more likable for me. I think that was pretty amazing. I also really liked that, this was being filmed during the big Me Too movement, and there was a scene that almost didn't make the final cut. They didn't want to be like parodying the Me Too movement. They didn't want to be, seen as disrespectful in any way to that movement. But I really liked that they kept it in, that they incorporated that, and they did it justice. They did a great job. I am kind of disappointed and sitting on edge that there's no confirmation of a season 3. I think there's so much they could still do with it. I'm doing my best not to give spoilers here, but I really do feel they left enough loose ends to justify a 3rd season. I know I would definitely watch it, or at least give it a shot. And yeah, so like I say, I am very late to the party. I probably should have watched this when it came out, but I'm a mom to 2 kids that I don't want to subject to this stuff. So my viewing time for these kind of shows is usually really late after bedtime and everything else is done, which it's never really done before my bedtime. So late to the party, but got through it, and now I need something else to binge watch. Happy for suggestions, let me know. But yeah, so that is my opinion on 13 Reasons Why. That is pretty much all I can say without giving out spoilers to those of you who are just as late to the party as I am. But it's definitely a show worth watching. I would recommend it to anyone, but with a disclaimer. If you are sensitive to topics such as substance abuse, mental health, suicide, if you can't handle graphic content, imagery, things like that, then I maybe would advise you give it a skip. It is adapted from a book, so I actually have not actually looked into who the original author is or the actual title of the book it's based on. It is something I'm going to look into, and it is something that I actually would like to give a read to. I think they did say it's a very loose adaptation though. But maybe look into that and give that a try if you feel that you can't handle the graphic imagery and the storyline that comes with watching the series. But otherwise, let me know if there's anything else you can recommend to watch. I'd be very interested to hear your views and opinions on the show. And yeah, until I pop up on your little feed again, I hope that you guys go out there, live your best life, and enjoy the rest of the weekend. Bye!